What's going on, everyone? Clutch City Chronicles back here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Kevin Porter Jr.'s contract situation with the Houston Rockets. Now, as you all know, Kevin Porter Jr. is entering the final year of his rookie contract, which will make him a restricted free agent in next year's free agency. And really, the conversation going on right now amongst Rockets fans is, should the Rockets extend Kevin Porter Jr. this offseason? Now, really, the Rockets do have two options here. One, they risk Kevin Porter Jr. entering the final year of his rookie contract, having a great season, and then obviously demanding huge money next offseason. Or two, they can extend Kevin Porter Jr. this offseason for a price tag of $12 to $15 million per season. And in my honest opinion, I think that's a fair value for Kevin Porter Jr. at this point in his career. And just in general, it's a similar standpoint to where Jalen Brunson was last season, where the Dallas Mavericks had the option of giving him a 4-year, $55 million contract. And obviously, they didn't pursue that. And, Jalen Brunson entered the final year of his rookie contract, had a standout season, and essentially got the bag. And really, the Dallas Mavericks couldn't match that contract from New York, and they basically lost Jalen Brunson for absolutely nothing. And really, the Kevin Porter Jr. situation is almost similar to that, because Kevin Porter Jr. honestly could show up to this season and really have a breakout season and honestly earn himself a really big payday in next year's free agency if the Rockets don't decide to extend him this offseason. I could go as far as saying that Kevin Porter Jr. could be offered a 4-year, $60 to $80 million contract, really depending on where the Rockets stand on Kevin Porter Jr. In terms of chemistry, I think his chemistry is very good with the team right now. Obviously, recently, you could see some Twitter posts by Kevin Porter Jr. He seems 100% committed to the franchise. And obviously, Jalen Green, a guy that I consider to be a centerpiece of this franchise, seems to be on board with Kevin Porter Jr. as the point guard of the team. And just in general, everything behind the scenes seems to be 100% okay. So if the Houston Rockets can extend him this offseason to a team-friendly deal, I think the Rockets should pursue it, because in terms of potential, I think the sky's the limit for Kevin Porter Jr., who this season was among one of the best three-point shooters in the league. I mean, he averaged 38% from the three, was 15 points per game, and just in general, I think it's only up from here, and he's only going to get better season after season. And this upcoming season, I really do see it being a breakout year for him. And overall, if the Rockets don't extend him this offseason, they're risking Kevin Porter Jr. having that one good season, which could obviously lead to him getting an even bigger contract in next year's free agency. So really, the Rockets have those two options on the table right now. And if I were the Houston Rockets, in my opinion, I would do my due diligence in extending Kevin Porter Jr. this offseason, because again, the potential is there. His chemistry with the team is amazing, and just in general, everything is lined up. All the dominoes align, and really, I feel like his price tag right now is really fair and team friendly, and could really age well in the future, especially with the cap inflation that is expecting to happen in the next couple of years. So a 4-year, $60 to $80 million contract is going to seem like absolutely nothing in a couple of more years in the NBA, obviously in NBA terms. But just in general, if I'm the Rockets, I would extend Kevin Porter Jr. this offseason, opposed to risking him, going into next year and having that one breakout year, and obviously then demanding big max money, next offseason. And what we've seen from this past year is all it takes is one good NBA season to get the bag. I mean, look at Darius Garland, look at Anthony Simons, look at Jalen Brunson. All these brothers had one amazing season, one all-star caliber season, and boom, they got a max contract. So comment down below your thoughts on what you think the Rockets should do with Kevin Porter Jr. moving forward. Like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, make sure to subscribe for more.